If you can relate to any of the points that I'm about to make in this video today, and you were also thinking or considering coming to China, I would really suggest that you have a rethink. You just think about it. Do you really want to make that choice? I know I have made a video telling you guys why you absolutely should move to China. Today I will be letting you know that if you are prone to one or two of these tendencies, then just watch this video to the end and then decide if it's the right choice for you. So number one, you are someone who does not like to obey rules. Now, I'm not talking about in a situation whereby the rules are not clear, or you mistakenly broke the rules. I'm talking about, you're just someone who really doesn't care about rules. I mean, the rules are there, but you could care less. You get what I mean? Honestly, China is not the place for you. This country is governed by rules. So many rules at that. I would advise that you have a rethink, because this is a country that is governed by laws, rules, regulations, and there are a lot of things that you need to abide by. So if naturally you find it difficult to, just keep little rules here when they are like really big rules, you might have some issues, living in this country and not getting into trouble. Number two, if you as a person do not have an extreme amount of patience, okay, when I mean extreme, I mean overflowing patience. You know how we know some people are not just patient people, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just that they are not patient, okay? China will test you, okay? China will test every last shred of patience that you can muster. Whether it comes to dealing with Chinese people, some ignorant Chinese people who can treat you in a weird way, you need a lot of patience to deal with that. Otherwise, you're just going to live a very sad and angry life in this country. Or is it the patience that you have to apply when it comes to maybe like you're trying to get things done? Is it renewing your visa, or you're getting a lot of no's because you're trying to apply for something? You need a whole lot of patience and perseverance if you're actually going to push through and get the thing that you are trying to get. Number three type of person who should not move to China: if you are not self-motivated, if you are not a person who can motivate yourself, if you always need someone to always push you, tell you what to do next, be someone to actually, push you to be active about your life, you may not want to move to China, to be honest, because China is a place that makes you unmotivated. If anything, it's just a place that makes you relax and not want to get a lot of things done. So usually you have to be there for yourself. You have to give yourself that push. You have to give yourself the ginger. You know how that song says, if there's no ginger, you ginger yourself. Because ain't nobody is gonna do that for you here. Whether you are a student, you have to ginger yourself. You have to push yourself to achieve your goals, to get your graduation requirements, to do well, to study. Most of the times people think that, oh, education in China is a farce, especially for foreigners. Actually, it's just because the system doesn't really push you. You know how it is, for example, back in Nigeria, where there is a certain amount of pressure from your teachers, from your lecturers and things like that to get your work done. Here in China, there is no such thing like that, okay? You have to literally push yourself if you want to make it here, okay? The same applies to people who are not necessarily students. Maybe you're working, or you're doing business, or you're just here for some other purpose. If you are not motivated, if you don't tell yourself, okay, this is what I'm here for, this is what I want to achieve, and things like that, you might just continue to live your life in China endlessly without having any purpose or any goal or anything that you achieve, because the life here is just comfortable, and for the most part nothing is really pushing you, or nothing is really itching you to kind of make a change, make a big change, or really pursue something or achieve something great. I don't know if you guys get the message I'm trying to communicate, but I hope that you do. Something else that you should consider if you're planning to come to China is this. Are you a person who can work under pressure? Like actual pressure. I don't mean when we just put it in our CV that I can work under pressure. You have to be able to actually work under pressure, because for some reason, based on my experience and the experience of a ton of other foreigners that I have related and interacted with, there is just this thing with Chinese people and giving you last minute instructions a lot of the time. And I used to think it was a thing that happened to just the students, right? Whereby they would just tell you, oh, last minute that you have this presentation to do, you have this maybe seminar to carry out, or you need to go to this place, or you need to do this thing, you need to register for your courses. It's like there's always a last minute instruction, last minute something for you to do that kind of like just puts you under so much pressure, and you just find yourself going crazy. So you have to have that balance of receiving last minute news or last minute instructions, but still be able to put yourself together quickly enough to get it done, to get whatever is required of you done, because not getting it done will actually result in drastic consequences. So this is something people should really consider, because I find out that it is a thing. And like I said, it's not just from the experiences of students alone. People who work in China, I mean foreigners who work in China, say for example, teach in kindergartens or things like that, they actually get also last minute information from their superiors. Let's say for example, it's your off day and you're just at home chilling. You can just get a call from your superior and they'll be like, hey, you have to come into work this evening, you know, you have to come and teach this evening. And you're thinking, what if I had something else planned? What if I actually plan to go somewhere else this evening, right? And most of the times it just gives you this pressure and this annoyance feeling, right? Of, does it mean I'm not important enough for you guys to tell me in advance that I have to do this and this and this? I mean, it's just a crazy world out here, to be honest. You just have to get ready to go with the flow, because you also can't just say, oh, I'm not coming into work. It's obviously going to cause a kind of tension between you and your superior, and it may even lead to consequences, like I said earlier. As a student, it's even worse. For me, when I was doing my master's, they literally told us our defense, not the main defense, but the pre-defense. Our pre-defense was, I think, 2 days away from the actual pre-defense date. And I'm like, say what? How do you do that? At that point, my thesis was nowhere near done. I mean, I would expect that you should give someone, you know, more amount of time so that they can prepare for things like this, but it is what it is at the end of the day. So yeah, you guys have to factor that. So the last point I'm going to be sharing for today is the fact that you have to think critically. Are you a person that is flexible? Are you a person that can, you know, switch plans, go with the flow? If you are going to live in China, you can't be too rigid, okay? You absolutely cannot. Because, like I said, this country will test you. But also, China is just a place where things might not always go the way you plan them to go. Okay, so if you're someone who desires control, you know, you're that person who likes to be in charge of your life, in charge of your plans. You know, when you set a goal, you expect that, okay, I'm gonna hit this goal, I'm gonna achieve it, and I'm gonna move on to this other thing. Here in China, a lot of things are gonna mess with your plans. A lot of things are going to stand in your way, basically. And I don't know, I really don't know how to put it, but those that get it. And hopefully for those of you who are not yet in China, you sort of kind of get it. Okay, let's say for example, you might have planned, oh, I'm going to do a master's degree and then get a job and start working, which was what I, for example, had planned. But then after I graduated from my master's, I looked for a job in my city. I checked, I looked for so long, I couldn't get a job. So I decided, okay, what's the next best thing for me to do? I said, okay, I'm going to start my PhD. I did want to do a PhD, but I just didn't want to start it at the time that I did. I wanted to work for like a year or 2 years and, you know, save up some money. Because of course, living in China, raising a family in China, you need money, okay? But I literally didn't find a good job in the city where I wanted, okay? So I had to switch plans. I had to be flexible, you know. So a lot of times things might not go the way you want. I've heard of people who were working somewhere and then the next year they go to renew their work visa, and you know, for some reason they refuse to issue them a visa, or they just give them a 1-month T visa and ask them to leave China. I don't want to make this video a China horror video. But I just want to put out these points that are quite necessary in my opinion for someone who is considering coming to China. So I want you guys to carefully go through all of these points that I have made and let me know what you think about them. You think that, oh, okay, I still have what it takes to come to China? If you do, then congratulations. You might just move to China and it'll be the best decision you ever took. You know, you will thrive, you will have a great time in this beautiful country. Or if after listening to all these points that I've made, you're just like, you know what, let's think again, let's look again, then good luck to you on whatever you eventually decide. But I hope that this video has been helpful to you. Please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, and also if you are new on the channel, please subscribe and turn on your bell notifications. I do make videos about life in China, you know, what life is like basically for foreigners here in China, as well as tips on how you can live and thrive and be happy whilst living in China. If you're also wondering, why should I actually move to China? What are some reasons why China should be on my travel list? Then I'm going to link a video up here to tell you some of the reasons, some of the mind-blowing, amazing reasons why you might want to move to China. Move to this beautiful, beautiful country that can be stressful, to be honest. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I will catch you in the next one. Bye guys.